Welcome back, everybody. Let's just go ahead and start the installation procedure itself. So just go ahead and double click on your Red Hat icon or your Red Hat machine that you have created. There we go. We get prompted immediately. Just go ahead and select Install Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Press enter, and there we go. The installation should start shortly. Don't worry about this failure. It should begin loading soon, hopefully. I'm not going to be forced to eat my own words. Please, I'm begging you. There we go. It's working out, so it's relatively slow, but oh well. There's a lot to load. Anyway, keynote here. The screen will be small until we actually finish the installation itself. It will get a bit bigger during the installation process itself, but there we go. But until we actually install VirtualBox Guest Editions, we're not going to have the functionality of a full screen mode. I will show you how to do this, of course, and the process is not different whether you are doing this on Windows, Linux, or Mac. You are doing exactly the same things. Also, if you are installing CentOS, again, little or no difference. Some trivial, insignificant things that you probably won't even notice are there. You're not going to have, for example, this red Red Hat icon in the upper left corner. Okay, so go ahead and select the language of your preference. Oh, by the way, since the guest editions are not yet installed, you're going to have to capture your devices. By that I mean your mouse and your keyboard, and you see you won't be able to escape the virtual machine box, and if you press right control, you will be able to escape it. When you press right control again, it will capture and you will be confined to the size of the screen. Anyway, go ahead and select your language preferences. Click on continue. I think that your keyboard should be set by default when you select the language preferences, and there we go. That is done. Go ahead and select the time zone that you wish. Just go ahead and click it to any place where you are at the moment, what you have selected. I'm just going to leave it as it is. That does not matter for me at the time, but for you it might, so make sure to correct it to the correct time zone if you wish to get accurate time. It says language is set, software selection. Okay, so let's go into software selection. Oops, sorry. And let's see what we are going to install. Now, what I have on my physical machine here is a KDE Plasma workspace, but I'm going to go ahead and install GNOME Desktop here. Why, if you ask? Why do you ask? Well, I want to show you that there are different sorts of desktop here, and I can show you one type of desktop on my physical machine, and I can show you a different type of desktop on the Red Hat machine. Just so that you know that there are differences, and you will see that the differences are significant. Okay, so what do we want? We want internet applications, conferencing such. Sure, why not? A set of commonly used, sure, why not? Client for doing backup, clients for connecting to a backup server and doing backups. No, we do not need that at the moment. If we do, we can install it easily. Legacy X Windows system compatibility. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and select this as well, primarily because I might need it later on and I don't want to bother with dependencies, but generally you won't need it. Okay, so this is definitely a choice that you should take, Office Suite and Productivity. Smart card support, well, I don't know, if you need it, use it. If not, oh well. You can keep in mind that all of these things, including the desktops themselves, you can install and delete later on as you choose after the installation. This is not a Windows operating system. You can actually delete the current desktop, delete the current graphical user interface, and install a new one that is more to your liking. This is smart card compatibility libraries. Okay, this is not a bad idea. Integrating trust. Okay, yeah, there we go. Let's just go ahead and click on Plasma Workspace to see what is offered here. So you see you have perhaps, actually no, it's pretty much the same things. Sometimes on KDE you have a bit more things that they offer, but this is not the case here. Anyway, there are other desktop environments other than GNOME and KDE. Again, you can delete either one of these upon installation and then install whatever you want, like LXD or KD, not KD, sorry, XFC, or something of a kind, whatever suits your needs. Well, let's just say software selection is done. Checking for software dependencies. This might take a while. And now we have installation source. It's checking for software dependencies. Excellent. It has found both. We don't need the additional CD. If you selected perhaps some other options, perhaps you would need it, but not in this particular case. It says installation destination, automatic partitioning selected. Okay, let's go into installation destination and the partitioning schemes. Keep in mind that you can create multiple disks in VirtualBox, as many as you like, or as many as your hardware can support. So we're going to be playing around with that later on, and we're going to be creating new partitions on new drives. But for the time being, I'm just going to go ahead and select the default installation, primarily because there isn't really a need to play around here any further. I will teach you how to partition disks, how to format them, and how to configure them to pretty much any setup you want. For the time being, you can just select the automatic configuration, and that will do the trick. You can also, what I generally recommend is set the encryption immediately here, so you don't have to bother with it later on. So I'm just going to go ahead and say encrypt my data. You can, you can put the simplest of passwords there if you don't care about it, but have it there. It's not a bad layer of security to have. It's actually pretty good, especially when you lose something, or especially on laptops. If you lose a laptop, if the data is encrypted on it, nobody's going to be able to access it. Don't worry about it. This is just to save you a bit of time later on, but primarily what people tend to do is encrypt individual files where they have certain things that are stored. Okay, let's go ahead and click on full disk summary and bootloader, so you can see that everything here is on a single disk. It's SDA, and okay, so yeah, this is probably not the best thing to do, but as I said, later on when the installation is done, I will show you in detail how you can partition, how you can create new partitions, delete old ones, or change the existing ones. Anyway, for the time being, just go ahead and click done. Disk encryption passphrase, I will type in test, but you can type in whatever you want. Make sure, and I can't emphasize this enough, make sure that you do not forget your encryption passphrase. If you do forget it, you can say goodbye to your data, quite literally. I'm not kidding. If you lose your encryption keys, it's gone. You won't be able to recover it. There are some brute forcing methods out there and something of a kind, but if you have a complex encryption key that you have forgotten, chances are that you will not be able to recover the information that you have there at all. You will of course be able to reformat the drive and create and free up the space, but you will not be able to retrieve the information. So keep in mind, it is very important that you remember this. Save passphrase, installation destination, saving configuration. It says network and hostname, so let's just go ahead and see what we can do about that. We need to say that this is on. Okay, so IP address, subnet mask, default route, DNS. Excellent. So this is done as well. Oh, by the way, you can see that I have configured my router to the OpenDNS servers. We can talk about DNS a bit later on. For the time being, I just wanted to mention it. So kdump is a kernel crashing dumping mechanism in the event of a system crash. That is all you need to know about that for the time being. Just leave it on default, leave it on automatic, and it will, if a crash happens or something of a kind, it will be recorded, so you will be able to extract some valuable information from it. It does take up a bit of resources, but it's fine. It's not a lot. Anyway, begin installation. As the installation is going through, there are a few things. The system needs a random data. You can improve this by typing in randomly on the keyboard or moving the random data quality. Amazing. Anyway, user settings. configure your root password, and look, for my user passwords for this particular machine that I am most likely going to delete after I finish this tutorial, you will, I mean, configure something that because you will use the root password on daily basis and on hourly basis if you're working. I mean, you're gonna type it in a lot of times during your working sessions. So choose something that is complex and that you can remember. I would suggest definitely more than 8 characters long, something that does not contain words from the English dictionary or words from any dictionary for that matter at all. Make sure that it has numbers, letters, lowercase, uppercase, and that it has some symbols included definitely. And it should be greater than 8. For the purposes of this tutorial, because the security on this machine, in particular in terms of password strengths, is not that relevant primarily to me because this is a virtual machine, I can type in whatever I want. But I'm gonna go ahead and type in my password. I'm gonna make sure that it's a lengthy one, so let's see. Okay, so this is gonna be probably an overkill for a virtual machine, but oh well. Passwords you have provided this week fails the dictionary check. Okay, so let's just see what we can do here. I don't know. Let's see if this is gonna work. Ah, come on. You have to press done twice to confirm it. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna use whatever. We can change it later on if we want. I will show you how to change the root password. Then later on we will actually configure a much better password for this. But I don't want to lose time now during the installation procedure. Now you can type in a full name here if you wish, and it will be displayed for you when you log in. I'm not going to type it in, but doesn't really matter. I'm just going to type in the username creator or random guy. Okay, a random guy. That's gonna be my username, but you can also type in your full name here, and what you can type in whatever you want for the username. I generally like to do a lot of partitioning in the post installation period and the configuration of the root password as well, and I can also change the encryption keys. During the installation, I generally pick the simplest possible things, and then later on we actually improve upon the security in the post installation process. Besides, I really wanted to save these things for an opportunity to later on show you when we actually start using the terminal how you can actually change all these things, because it is far more important for you, trust me, to be able to change them in the Linux terminal than anything else. Okay, so let's user random guy will be created. Excellent. So the installation is now running. I'm gonna leave it to run. I don't think I shall wait for the end of it during this tutorial. But if there are any changes or anything of a kind, rest assured I will take some screenshots and I will explain it in greater detail in the follow-up tutorial. However, for the time being, I'm just going to let the installation run, and once it is finished, I'm going to continue on from there, and we will see what we can actually do once the operating system is actually installed, to install VirtualBox guest editions, to get introduced to the GUI of the graphical user interface of Red Hat, and then we're going to jump into the terminal as well to see how things actually work there. Until then, I bid you all farewell, and I wish you a lot of luck.